Alright guys, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Ellie and today I'm going to be talking about how to use files data inside your Python script. In short, we are going to be doing is we are performing some operations with a file like reading, writing, and appending. A lot of operations inside the file, okay? So this is the file I have. This is test.txt and I'll if you're interested in this data, like if you just need this dummy data, just comment down and I'll just provide you with this data. All right, and this is just some dummy data. Okay, so you can just paste in any data you want, and you can just have any file you want. There's just no compulsory that you want to have this data and this file. All right, and now what we're gonna be doing is first we'll set up our file. So we want to say Python that our file is test.txt. So we want to give an open method, and remember that open method is a built-in function inside Python, and you don't really want to import some sort of anything. Okay, so inside this open method, first thing you want to specify is the file's name, and then the operation you want to do. Okay, operation. All right. So now we'll talk about what those two attributes are. So first is the file's name you want. So in this case, my file's name is test.txt. Just make sure that your file is in the same directory as your script. All right, and then the second variable was operation variable. The operation variable is what kind of operation you want to perform. Um, Let me just spell that correct. All right. So this must also be a string. If you're reading the file, then you want to specify R. Then if you're writing the file, then W. If you're appending something in the file, then A. Then if you're reading the bytes, that's RB. Writing the bytes, that's WB. We're going to be talking about each of these in this tutorial, but for now, we'll just talk about this R, okay? The reading operation, okay? Alright, after we have our file set up, we told Python that we want to open this file. Then after that, we could do is we could just perform any operation we want. So let me just talk about the file.read attribute. So .read attribute is an attribute which just returns every data inside this file. So in this case, if this is the data, then this will return everything inside this file, okay? Alright, and then what I will do is I'll just print out the data inside the file. I'll say print file.read, and after we have performed the operations, what we want to be doing is we want to close our file. So this is actually mandatory, or maybe this is done, but just don't take any risk because this is a kind of important thing you want to do. Okay, so this will do is it will just save the file and any other thing you have done to the file. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and run this file. All right, and so that returned us and a whole lot of things inside our file. This is the whole data inside our file. This indentation doesn't seem to be correct, but you could just change the indentation with passing in the parameters like scp equals this and end equals this, something like that. But I'm not going to be talking about those attributes inside print. Okay, so now you saw that it just returned a whole lot of data inside our file, and we just printed that one inside of a console screen. And other thing I want to talk about this .read attribute is we can also pass in some parameters. Like if I pass in 5, what that will do is that will just return me first 5 characters in my file, which is this. Okay, like this thing. All right, and now if I pass in first 100 character, then that will return me the first 100 characters. In case you cannot see, let me just open my minified view. Just some time. Yeah, this and this, whatever. Okay, and let me just close it. Okay, so that was how you can just pass in any parameter inside that read attribute. Other attribute is that read line attribute. So this it will return you the first line in your file. So in my case, this was this. the first line was this line, so that just returned me my first line, okay? Then you'd also pass in some parameters, like if I pass in 5, then that will return me first 5 characters of my first line. So let me just run that one, alright? So suppose my line has 20 characters, and if I pass in 21 characters, then that will just ignore it. Like, if I pass in 60 characters, and I'm not gonna count each and every character inside this line. Suppose this has 30 characters, then what that will do is it will not skip to any other line, but this will just print out the same line. Okay? So that, hopefully that really makes some sense. Without destroying any error, that just printed out the first line with some and with a blank space below. Right? So we are going to be talking about the next attribute we can use with file. So the next attribute we can use it read lines, and just remove the 60 from there. Okay. So now what does this dot read lines do is it will return as a list of lines from our file. So it will iterate through each of these lines and then make them in a list. So let us just see this in action, and there you go. It gives us a list with our lines inside it. All right, and we can pass in, like, 2. This will return as the third line. All right, the third line starting from 3, and this was about a read line. All right, and let me just remove this one. And now we're going to be talking about the with statement. So this is not a correct way to do operations with file. So you want to do is you want to use a try statement there. So this will check if there's any error while you're opening a file, maybe permission error or some non-existing error or something like that. And if there is any error, I mean exempt, then what we're gonna be doing is print. So we'll just close the file in case if there is any error. All right. So now, if there is not any error after everything is done, still we will close our file. All right. Then this is the real statement you want to use. But in case you're gonna type all these words, there is a with statement for you. So what this will do is this will manage everything for you. So open file name and then operation as file. So now what this with statement will do is whatever comes inside it, if anyone uses this kind of variable, this file variable, then this will be a variable, okay? This file is a variable which has this value, and if there is any error, then we'll just close the file. So this with statement will just whole lot of reduce your code. Okay, so let me say I want to print out file.read and something like that. So just by doing these 2 lines, and we don't really also want to write that file.close. So with statement will just actually handle those kind of operations like closing the file, saving the file, and error handling and some other stuff. We'll go ahead and run the file, and boom, you see the same output. All right, and now let us talk about the other operation, which is appending. So appending is, just talk about writing. So what writing will do is it will first check whether this file is existing or not. So if it is existing, then it will just overwrite the data of this file. Suppose I want to write, like, file.write. Suppose I'll say I want to write hello. So what that will do is, let me just go ahead and copy this file. Okay. So what this will do is, if you just change the operation to W, then we'll have this attribute dot write. And I want to say, and I said to Python that I want to write hello in that file. So now what Python will do is, it will just check whether that file exists or not. So if this doesn't exist, then it will create a file, and then this will store the hello inside it. And if this exists, then this will just erase every data inside it and then type in hello inside it. So this could be dangerous in case you don't want to erase or overwrite your data, but we can just go ahead and check how this just really work. I'll run this file, okay? And now when I go to test.txt, now you must see my every data is erased except that hello inserted into it. So now let me just do this thing. So this will just bring back the data. All right. So yeah. So that was a use of with statement. The right statement. The right attribute. And now talking, if you don't want to erase the data on, if you don't want to overwrite the data, if you just want to append something, like I want to append 17th line right here, like 17, and then something like that. But I don't want to erase this data. So for that, I could use the append mode. Alright, so I'll go ahead and change my operation to A, that means append. And then I'll, instead of write, I'll say append. Okay? So what this will do is it will just append hello inside that file. Okay? I go ahead and run this file. Attribute error doesn't have anything called append. Let me say write and run this file. Alright, so that really won my one more thing. I was printing out each and everything for, and I just don't really want to print out. Okay, so that was my mistake. You guys don't really want to print out what auto operations is doing. Okay, all right. So what I said was, when I'm in append mode, what this write attribute will do is, it will not erase the data inside this file, but this will add this hello inside that file. So you see, it added hello, but without erasing the data inside this file. But the problem is, it did not leave it a new line. So for leaving a new line, I could just say backslash n. That will just leave a new line. And when I run this one, you must see it left a new line and typed in hello. Okay, so that's a good practice to leave a new line. Let me just go ahead and save this file. All right, and that was append, write, and read. And talking about the RB, read bytes. This is for the file types which doesn't have .txt extensions, like which has something called PNG or JPG or something like that, or .pickle. Any file types which doesn't have .txt or .py or any kind of readable extension. Okay, so you can use that RB. I want you guys to explore it by yourself because I'm not going to be talking about these things a lot. But in case you don't know what that really does, you just Google that one out, and still you find no solutions to what RB and WB does, then you can go ahead and ask me down in the comment section, and I will make a part 2 of this video. Hope you like this video and my hard work, and leave a like and subscribe this channel for upcoming videos. Thank you, and see you in the next tutorial.